I'm at Team Property Mom, and I'm here at McTague Law, and we're going to go inside. We're going to talk to Mike Wills. We're going to talk about some legal stuff, some legal questions when people are selling or buying a house, and yeah.
So some of the common questions I get when I'm dealing with buyers and sellers of home as a residential real estate lawyer in Windsor involve anything from municipal and provincial taxes to what happens if my fridge is broken on closing. A big one is land transfer tax and how land transfer tax is calculated in Ontario. So this is one of the fees or one of the expenses for a home buyer that varies with the price of the home. It's not a straight percentage calculation, so you typically need an online tool or some other specialized calculator to determine land transfer tax, but it does vary with the price of the home. An important point to remember though is first-time home buyers, if all the home buyers are first-time home buyers, are eligible for a rebate. So they can get up to $4,000 rebate on sale for that land transfer tax. And it's payable right on closing, so it's part of that total closing fund summary. Another issue is municipal taxes, and when municipal taxes are adjusted, how they're handled at closing, what happens if there are any unknown penalties, charges, or back payments, and also assessments, when and how our property tax is assessed. With respect to adjustments, we handle those at closing. The law firm looks after them, working with the other lawyer on the other side. We calculate how much is paid over the course of a year, how much should have been paid. We look at receipts to make sure that the amounts line up, and any amounts that don't line up, we adjust them so that there is either a credit or a debit on the closing summary to bring it to zero as of the closing date. If we subsequently discover penalties or taxes that weren't paid, we'll rely on what's called an undertaking to readjust, and if there are any issues with the undertakings to readjust, we'll often turn to title insurance, which I'll talk about in a moment. Assessments of the property taxes, that is how much our property taxes are handled by the persons who calculate those, not on the amount that is paid for the home, but on rather the other homes in the area, the neighborhood, in a general sense, and they're calculated from time to time biannually or annually and adjusted accordingly. So it doesn't matter how much you pay for a home necessarily, it matters how much are the homes in your area and the type of home you're purchasing. Title insurance. I mentioned that title insurance sometimes looks after penalties or other taxes that come into play. Title insurance is historically more of an American model, but it's very popular in Canada and it's very worthwhile now. It's something that I personally recommend on every home purchase. Many lenders require that there be title insurance, or absent title insurance, that the home purchaser obtain a survey and that the lawyer perform a lengthy title search to make sure there are no issues that would otherwise be covered by title insurance. Generally speaking, title insurance is going to be anywhere from $250 to, for more expensive homes, $500 or more, because again, it's tied to the price of the home being purchased, whereas a survey alone could cost you as much as $2,500, and the extra legal work is quite a bit more on top of that. So title insurance is just really an excellent safety net for home purchasers with respect to title to their property, things that should have been paid by the vendors that weren't paid, post-purchase fraud, and other matters. When you are buying a home, an important step for you is with respect to your utilities. You have cable bills, perhaps, telephone, electric, gas, some of those key utilities that you definitely want being water, electric, gas. It's your responsibility as a home purchaser to make sure that the proper service companies know you're moving in, know that you're taking over those bills, and that they know you don't want your lights to go out. So that's something that the buyer has to take on. I know there's a long list of things the buyer has to do. That's an important one because the lawyers and your agents, they can't take those steps for you, so you have to take them. I get often asked about walkthroughs, and many lawyers or many real estate agents want final walkthroughs before closing. These are an excellent tool for a buyer because you can go through the property and make sure there isn't some abandoned piano in the basement that needs to get moved out, or all the curtains that were supposed to be included are gone, or the wall mount televisions are missing. things like that that can be addressed prior to closing or subsequent to closing that you've identified. An important part of that may be, look, if you find something on a walkthrough, is to take some pictures. This doesn't mean you can necessarily walk away from a deal. If the curtain rods are gone, you're still going to close, but you may deal with an adjustment, a negotiation to get those curtain rods returned, some sort of a holdback. It's not a deal breaker. You're not looking at deal breakers unless maybe you attend that home and it's burned to the ground or the basement is entirely full of water. So you've got to not lose sight of what the walkthrough is for. It's just to make sure some of the things you bargained for are there and some of the things you didn't bargain for aren't still there. I also get asked about broken appliances, broken fridges. Maybe the appliances were included, but the fridge doesn't work or it breaks after you purchase it. And those are actually two different situations. If you purchased chattels and they were working at the time you viewed the home, and the agreement perhaps says, all appliances in working condition, and you arrive and they work, terrific. They work, everyone's complied with the agreement of purchase and sale. If they break in a week, they are your broken fridge at that point. There is no warranty on the appliances or the included chattels. There is an agreement to sell them. Sometimes there is an agreement to sell them in working order. I see this with pool equipment often, that the pool would be good working order. If it's in working order when the deal closes, then the agreement's been met. If it breaks in a week, there's no warranty. So that becomes your broken pool or your broken fridge, which can come as a bit of a shock because you may have only owned it for a week, but that's just how it happens. On the other hand, if it's broken when you move in, you may look to your lawyer to call the other side and say, we need a holdback, we need an adjustment, or we need some sort of undertaking to get these things fixed.
Well, hopefully we got a lot of your questions answered regarding legal real estate questions, and thank you, Mike Wills, for allowing us to interview you today. Have a great day.